Thank you. So, yeah. Today we are going to go over how to do a protection spell. We are going to do one together and also talk about how you can write your own and how, if you would like to, you are perfectly welcome to copy the one that we did in class today. It is not, copying anybody else's work. It is a traditional spell that has been done for thousands of years with some tweaks made. Or you can take what you learned today and use it to write your own spell, which we will also talk about as well. So for spell work, I really enjoy sigilization. I think sigilization is very important for spell work. And we have a beautiful sigilization section on the website, the divination website. We also, a lot of people don't know, I am still working on the formatting, but we have just created a book of shadows on the website as well. So I'm going to share with you some of the resources that are on the website and available to you so that you can write and create your own spells. So if you go into study guides, you will notice the format is a little bit off. I was writing it inside Google Docs and then transferred it to the notebook app. And then one of my admin transferred it to the website. And in that process, the formatting is just wrong. So it's something I have to fix. But here we go. The Book of Shadows. If you go to the website, and right now we have a potion section. In the potion section, you can learn how to make a basic luck potion. And as you can see, it should be, there should be a space in between. So it should say moon waxing, enter. Day, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, enter. Bottle color green, enter. So the formatting is a little funky, but it's pretty easy to read and you get the gist. And then the herbs that you can use. And these are just very, very traditional herbs that you would use for luck. And the day of the week matters. If you decide that, the day that you're off work is Monday, it's fine. Do the spell on Monday. That is wonderful. The day of the week is there because days of the week correspond with different gods and goddesses. They are also, if people for thousands of years have been doing these spells on Thursday for whatever reason, whether that is to worship and thank Thor, or whether that is to welcome in different runes, whether that is to commemorate the solstices, whether that is to celebrate the equinox, whether that is because every single Thursday the sun was in a specific position in the sky that they really liked. But if a certain group or certain culture has been doing this exact same spell or spells surrounding luck every time on a Thursday for thousands of years, then humankind and witches and practitioners have made Thursday powerful. It is not Thursday itself that is powerful. It is the fact that so many people have been doing luck potions and luck spells on Thursday that has given Thursday its energy and its power. And so now all of these people bring so much luck energy to the day Thursday. So the day has power and meaning. But you are perfectly welcome to do it whatever day of the week, but that is why days of the week are specified. And the moon waxing is very symbolic for any spell that you are going to do that is bringing something into your life. Usually, if you are bringing energy into you, you are adding energy into your life. So adding luck, adding protection, adding happiness, adding love, adding all of these things, you are usually doing it on a waxing moon. If you are trying to get something out of your life, so if you are doing a spell that involves banishing, if you are doing a spell that involves cutting ties, or releasing energy from your life, you are usually doing it on a waning moon. The color green has been associated with luck for a very, very long time for multiple reasons. And as I said, just like with Thursday, humankind for using green for luck for the past, 4,000 years has brought the energy of luck to the color green. And same thing with most of the things that we're going to talk about. Usually a lot of people think that color or days of the week or moments in time have their own personal power and energy. And I mean, they do, but the real reason they are so powerful is because of entities that exist on Earth, sentient life, because of animal migration, and animal migration bringing tons of energy to a certain time, or because of humans and doing a lot of energy work on specific days and times, or with specific colors and with specific candles, or animals being attracted to a specific color, or, it usually has to do with sentient life bringing energy to the object or time or color or things like that. So that is how it is formatted. I'm going to reformat it for you so it's easier for people to read. But then we also have how to create moon water so that you understand how to create moon water, because in a lot of the spell workshops, I'm going to say things like, okay, then you just create moon water, which is a whole process that takes days to do. So it's written out right here so that you can read it. And if the background makes it a little bit difficult for you to read it, you can just highlight it. And then we have our basic protection potion, which we will be using for the spell workshop. God, the formatting bugs me. It's okay. So we are looking for the moon to be waning. Now remember, potions are not spells. Potions are potions. So the potion is going to be something that you use during the spell. And if you'd like to write all of this down, please do, so that you kind of have your very first page of your spell book. And also remember, you do not have to copy this word for word. Like I said in the beginning, this is there for me to give you the tools and information to tell you what types of tools, what types of herbs, what types of days of the week, what types of colors has humanity and animals brought energy to for the last 5,000 years, and how you can gain access to that energy and how you can use it for your life and to help others and to help the universe. And we have all of this energy at our fingertips, and we can use it because it's a gift that the ancestors gave to us. And it's beautiful. And the more that we practice, the more that we continue to do all of these spells and bring all of this energy to these herbs and to these days and to these colors and to all of the things in the world, the more that we give energy to them. This is a gift that we are continuing to give to the future generations of the world. One day we will be the ancestors, and we will have given all of these beautiful days of the week and times and colors and herbs and potions and all of these things that we focused on for so long. Our energy will be added to the celestial energy of our ancestors. And in future generations, these things that we use for the purpose of gaining energy and healing and protection and love and all of the beautiful magic that we perform and all of these things that we use for magical purposes will be even more powerful. So as time goes on and as humans give more and more energy to all of these things, it only gets more and more and more powerful. And it's awesome. So to do the basic protection potion, which is a potion that we are going to use in the spell that we are doing today. Please feel free to write down and copy this. You want your moon to be waning. Or waxing, really. I should have written waning or waxing. It depends on the type of protection that you're going to do. Like we said in the beginning of this class, if your protection involves just bringing energy to you, such as like Anna said with healing, then that is beautiful. If you and wonderful, and you should probably use a waxing moon to bring energy to you. If your protection spell and your protection potion are more for protecting someone and banishing energy that is no longer wanted, or cutting ties with other people, or leaving your job and wanting protection from the backlash of that, things like that, you are going to want waning, because you are trying to push energy out of your life. So, yeah. So, or full, as it says on here too, the full moon. So basically for a protection spell, it is whatever you are trying to direct into your life. As I said, I explained how to use waxing and waning. And then for full, this is like you have something serious going on in your life right now that you need serious protection from. So, you know, if you are going through an abusive relationship, if you are going through an abusive career, if you are going through something that is harming your physical and mental health in a really horrible way, having the moon be full just helps you have all of the energy ever. So that it will help you to be able to perform whatever type of magic that you are trying to perform. So whenever it's super serious, I suggest a full moon, because the full moon just helps radiate magic and power. If you are really trying to like cut ties with a specific human being, sometimes people don't like the full moon. Sometimes for some people it brings way too much energy to them, and it becomes harder to banish. I've never had that problem, but I have heard that said. So it's up to you. Try it out. Try doing spells on the full moon compared to a waxing moon, compared to a waning moon. See what it does for you, and see what I'm talking about when I say expelling energy is waning, bringing energy towards you is waxing, and the full moon is just utilizing all of the energy. And see what that means to you, and then see what I mean by that. Thor's Day, just a super powerful day. Everybody really enjoyed Thor's Day. It was a day where people felt loved and protected, and where feasting usually occurred, where a lot of holidays were celebrated throughout time. And it is, in the beginning of this class, I was talking about that happy place that you go to when you do a protection spell. Thursday is a happy place. For a lot of cultures too. Like I know Thor is Norse, but throughout multiple cultures all over the world, especially South America and Central America, Thursday has also been very powerful and very important. They don't call it Thursday all over the world. Obviously, there's that too. And with different language comes different energy. But the day of the week that we would call Thursday is very precious and important all over the world. That's sad. Are people leaving? I'm sorry if I'm boring you. So let's start the spell. Let me look. I wonder if people are having difficulties. Like, what happened?
I think Anna said she was probably not going to be able to the whole time because she wasn't feeling good.
Right. Anna did say that, but like, where did Sky go?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, that one I don't know.
Okay, it's fine. Let's keep going. Okay, so do the two people left in this class Do you guys know how to cast a circle already?
I had before, yes.
Cool. And Katrina?
Yep.
Yes, you do. Awesome. I was like, we've casted one together before. I know you know how.
Yep.
Okay, so Sky's connection went out. Okay. Oh, well, cool. So the very first thing that you do in every single spell is you are going to cast a circle. So, I guess it's kind of cool that we only have 2 people anyway. It becomes more personal. So, Kim, how do you cast your circle?
Okay, I thought I pushed unmute. I did not.
No problem.
I was talking. So I use candles and crystals, and at each of the directions, and then just call to each one.
Awesome. Love it.
Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm at work again, like forever. And sorry, I can hear them out there. So I was trying to see what's going on.
Don't be sorry at all. I totally understand.
I might need to go out there for a second.
Okay, that is all right. Katrina, how do you cast your circle?
Well, the way you do, I actually grab specific items for the directions. So earth items in a jar for earth, but I'm still adding to. And then water. For west, I used candle and fire. For fudge muffins. South?
Yep, good job.
South, yep. And then what was the other one? Air. I used feathers for air.
Awesome, awesome.
For east.
I love it.
I have a bell.
Oh, perfect. I love using music for the east.
I want a bell.
Yes.
I haven't found one that I like yet.
I typically tend to use a drum instead of a bell, but I also love bells. And using music and sound for air is amazing.
Yes.
Awesome. So, if you would like to right now, if you are not in a place where you can, that's fine, but mentally cast your circle as part of the spell workshop. Run through it in your head or with the pencil and paper that you have with you or the Google Doc sheet that you have open or whatever, write down how you would specifically cast a circle for protection. And let me know, would it change? Would the way that you cast a circle be different if you were doing it for protection rather than for abundance or for wealth or for other things that we cast spells for?
I don't think mine would be different. I think I cast it the same each way just to, I don't know, continuity or continuity or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Just other than I think it would be stronger for me if it's cast the same. And then I bring into it whatever spell I'm needing to cast. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I love that. Awesome. What about you?
No, I would agree. You'd probably do it the same. I mean, I haven't done very many, so for right now to try to like complicate it would kind of
Exactly. Yeah, me too.
Keep it simple.
I totally agree. I always usually cast a very similar circle no matter what I'm doing. Unless I would say the only time I didn't is when we are doing a specific Sabbath. So if I am casting for Samhain, which some of you got to see, and I usually then would mention the dead and mention our ancestors and mention your loved ones coming to join us in the circle while casting and give them the opportunity to welcome them into the circle as well. Whereas usually I would just welcome in the elements and the universe You can call that the deities, the gods and goddesses. I just call it the universe, but usually that's all I would welcome into the circle if I'm just doing a spell. Whereas if I'm celebrating a Sabbath, I would welcome in things dedicated to that specific Sabbath. So the next thing that we are going to do is create our potion. So when you cast your circle, you are going to, you could, already have this potion created and just take it with you when you cast your circle for your protection spell. Or sometimes something I really actually enjoy doing is making the potion during the spell. So bringing everything I need, but making the potion during the spell, because I like to bring as much energy out as I can. And for me, making potions brings energy and helps to harness energy and helps to create energy. Number one, because the process of physically doing something, the process of moving, the process of thinking and trying to put something together uses energy. It is the electricity inside of our brain. It is the neuron connections and synapses that are happening when we try and think about creating a potion, the physical motions and movements that we make. All of that is conducting energy. And for me, that helps me in my circle to conduct energy. Some witches are just like magic energy conductors, and they can just do it without having to have all these little steps. But for me, sometimes it's hard for me to feel as though I am truly conducting energy, and creating potions during my spell really helps me with that. Yeah. So you are going to want to have your bottle. And you're going to want to have your herbs. I suggest using for any protection spell, for any protection potion, I suggest having rose, bay leaf, and any type of sage items. Remember, we don't use white sage. See, I need a space right there. Anyway, we don't use white sage. White sage is part of a closed practice that people have asked us not to use if we are not part of that practice. And we respect all pagans. And as in respect to all pagans, they have asked us not to, and therefore we will not. There's also many other reasons behind it, but that is just very basic respect. So any type of other sage, whether that be pineapple sage or red sage or blue sage or cottage sage or all the different millions of kinds of sages out there, really, really help with protection and have been used for protection throughout the entire world since forever. So, and rose and bay leaf are really wonderful as well. There's also a lot of other herbs that you are welcome to look up in the herbology section on this website that are also great for protection. But different types of sage, bay leaf, and rose are some of the big ones that have been used by everyone all over the world. Having a black candle is really important for creating this potion. A white candle, a small white bowl, sea green water. It is up to you. If you have the privilege of living next to an ocean, then that counts as sea green water. If you have the privilege of living next to water that is very, very blue because of the bacteria and microbes that exist within it, that is great. Go to your lake, go to the pond near you and collect that water. If you are not, if the only water you have access to is the water that comes out of your sink, which has no microbes and is not sea green, I really hope the water coming out of your sink is not sea green, then it is perfectly fine to use herbs to dye it that color. You can even, if you are really desperate and you really have no other way to make your water kind of a more bluish green, like it would be coming from nature, that's what we're really going for here. It's water that specifically comes from nature and has microbes in it. We are not looking for the beautiful clear water that runs off the Colorado mountains. We are looking for the water that is sea greeny and algae covered and microby. If you really don't have access to that at all and you can't use herbs to kind of create that, food coloring is fine, but I would make it your last resort. And then a piece of string that's any color. And you're going to want oils. I love using for this one almond oil, rose oil specifically, because once again, rose is a super powerful protection herb. So you're going to have your rose oil, your rose extract, and all of the beautiful, since rose makes such beautiful oil, might as well use that oil. But there are lots of different types of oils that are perfectly fine. And if the only thing that you have access to in that moment is something like olive oil, that's fine too. I would suggest going out and buying almond oil though. Rose oil is going to be kind of expensive. Completely understand if you can't do that. Even making your own rose oil is a very, very extreme process. Going out and buying a bottle of almond oil is pretty much just as cheap as buying vegetable oil. So I would suggest going out and buying yourself some almond oil if you're going to be creating lots of potions, because you'll notice pretty much any potion can be done with almond oil. So I would suggest getting that. But rose oil, if you have it, is wonderful. Rose extract as well, which you can make yourself. And then your bottle color is clear. So we are going to want to be able to see the sea green water. That is the important part. So you want to make sure that you cleanse your tools. So do people, and this is not just for the potion. This is going to be for any spell that you practice at all before you do your spell. So now we have casted our circle. And even if you are choosing not to make your potion during your spell, if you're going to make it beforehand, even during your spell, you're going to want to cleanse everything. Once it's in your circle, cleanse it. Even if you would like to cleanse it before it's in your circle, that's perfectly fine too. However you want to do it is fine, but items need to be cleansed. So, do you guys know what cleansing is? And how do you cleanse your tools?
Yes, I know what cleansing is. Usually, I mean, if I happen to be anywhere near running water, like in a river, then I will do it there. Under the moon, absolutely. Oh shit, Liam's here. Okay.
Yes, beautiful. Cleansing and putting all of your items under the moon, running them inside of a stream or lake or running water is perfect. Love that. Yes.
Thank you. I will be right back. Let me just go say hi to these guys. They're putting in a new camera system here, so I'll be right back.
No problem. What about you, Katrina? Do you know how to cleanse, and how do you cleanse?
I really like using incense and smoke cleansing.
Beautiful.
It's so pretty, especially in like jars and stuff, as it like willows and I like being able to like see it. And that's a big, I think, impact for me. It's like, okay, I can see that I don't know, it's pretty. And I have
me too. I love smoke cleansing. Yes. So there's also in the cleansing, there's like an entire cleansing section on the website in the study guide section, and it lets you know some different ways to smoke cleanse, some different ways to use water, some different ways to use the elements to cleanse. The only thing that is necessary is that you are passing it through some sort of cleansing element, whether that be smoke, water, moonlight, fire. There are things that should not be cleansed with fire. But if you have something that can be cleansed with fire that you can run through the flame of a candle, that's beautiful. I love cleansing with fire, but be careful. Don't burn things. But as long as you are passing it through a cleansing element and saying an incantation that means something cleansing to you, then that is perfect. So what are some incantations that we could say that mean cleansing to us or to you? Does anybody have any cleansing incantations that they use?
Nope.
That is totally cool. So usually what I like to do, especially when I teach beginners, is what do you imagine the smoke doing? We're going to use smoke for this example. So if you are smoke cleansing and you are running your items through smoke, what do you imagine the smoke doing when you think of the smoke cleansing your tools?
I get what's funny because I'm like, I never actually put it to words. I guess like I feel like the smoke, like using the smoke to kind of carry away the I don't know, but like carrying away.
Yes, no, exactly. Like the smoke is taking all of the unwanted energy within the tools and carrying it away somewhere else. Totally. What do you imagine that the water is doing or the moonlight is doing, Kim, when you cleanse your items?
I want to say, taking it away, carrying it away, but dispersing it. I don't know, which maybe because I kind of am weird about the idea of it just takes it away, but without a place to go. So I kind of just like tell myself that it's carrying it, but like I want to say disappearing it, but that's not correct. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. That instead of taking it to somewhere new or carrying it away somewhere else, that it is dispersing it and kind of almost making it disappear.
Yeah, because like water, if you add enough water to anything, it's dilute it. That's
yes,
maybe the word I was trying to think
I
of.
love that it is diluting the not unwanted energy. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So that can become your incantation. So if you don't already have an incantation for cleansing, feel free to be very literal. I enjoy being literal when it comes to my spell practice. As I have said before, in a lot of spell workshops, I tend to not use the line "Hail to the Watchtower" of the North. For those of you who have heard that in traditional spell magic, in a lot of ceremonial magic, "Hail to the Watchtowers of the North, element of Earth." I don't know what watchtower is, and I don't know what we're hailing to. So if I don't know what I'm hailing to, I don't say the words. So I like to be much more literal.
I like that. I think it sounds pretty damn cool, though.
It does sound really cool, though. And if that's something you use, I would suggest, which is cool. I love that. I know a lot of witches who use that. Figure out for yourself what the watchtower is. What are you hailing to? But same thing with your incantation for cleansing. Being literal, just saying, I take this water and dilute unwanted energy. I take this smoke and carry away unwanted energy into places where it might be needed. Something like that is absolutely beautiful. And there's a lot more information that you can find about cleansing in the cleansing section on the website, but that is the basic gist of it. It is intention, incantation, and elemental work. And that is cleansing. So you both described that very beautifully. So you cleanse, you say your cleansing incantation, and you have your intention. one thing I do want to bring up when it comes to that, I bring this up a lot, but just for anybody who hasn't heard it yet, negative energy is needed. There is no only love and light. There is no only positive vibes. There is no only positive energy. The world and the universe are a yin and yang. They are a beautiful dichotomy of negative and positive energy, both are needed to sustain life. If you have never in your life felt hunger, then you have no idea the pleasure of satiation. If you have never felt sadness in your entire life, then you have no idea how good it feels to be happy. If you have never felt anger, then you have no idea how it feels to be extraordinarily passionate about something. It is frustration that brings passion. It is sadness that brings the utmost glee. It is all of these things combined together to make the gorgeous energy that exists in the universe. And they are needed. So negative energy is in your spell work, and it will be. Positive energy will also be in your spell work. When we are meditating and trying to work through something that we're going through that and working through it is what gives us the ability to help others who are going through the same things. Now, does that mean, that having a bunch of really horrible, tragic things happen to you over and over again is good? No, not at all. What it means is that negative and positive energy exist within the universe, and they always will, and they always have. And trying to pretend like negative energy doesn't exist or trying to expel it completely from your life does not work, and it shouldn't, because that negative energy is required and needed for the circle of life to go on. Death is needed for life to exist. If this planet existed and all things that had ever been born never died and never decayed, we would not have a planet Earth. Decay is needed, and death is needed, and cell death is needed, and decay is needed for new plants to grow. And negative and positive energy are both needed. You cannot only work with one.
So I love that. First of all, I really, really, really love that. That sounds more true to me than what I was taught before. I don't know if you remember, like I said, I'd been in a coven for a year, and it was so always when they cast a circle, which is what my question is going to be. So when you cast a circle, you don't dispel the negative energy. Then that's what they were like. Make sure to get rid of any evil, negative energy before you cast. I mean, during the circle, that's what you cast the circle for, and to protect you, obviously, and to to before you did any kind of spell casting. And that just, I was like, I don't know, something felt wrong, but that kind of, now I understand a little bit. So what do you do then?
So when you are casting a circle, that is why I said before, when it comes to cleansing and circle casting, you are trying to expel unwanted energy.
Oh, that's the word change. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Okay.
So yeah, then in some spells, in some potions, in most actually, unwanted does not mean getting rid of negative. Negative energy is wanted. It means getting rid of any energy that you do not want in your circle. And sometimes
or need at the moment.
Or need at the moment. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Awesome. Good. I'm so glad.
Thank you.
Of course. So next, after you have done all of that, we have casted our circle, we have gathered all of our tools, we have cleansed all of our tools, and now we want to empower everything around us and all of the tools that we are going to use. So how have you empowered before? And if so, how do you empower?
So when you say empower, are you talking about like I'm putting the energy for the spell that I'm wanting into something?
Exactly.
Or
Yep.
out in the air, or you know what I mean?
Yes. So when we talk about cleansing is dispersing energy, diluting energy, and carrying energy away. Empowering is putting energy in.
Okay. Then mostly I would do that with intention, like with thinking and meditation and concentrating. Although I suck at meditating, I need to get so much better on it. But that sigilization class really helped.
Right? I love
When
that.
he told me, in all honesty, when he told me to masturbate, I was like, you know what? That worked. It got me to
Right?
concentrate on what I needed to concentrate on, which was just so helpful.
It is. Oh, I love Shentat and his classes.
Yes, I
Great.
wish I could have finished it. I'm so mad that I didn't get to finish it, but yeah.
Yes, so masturbation, great way to empower.
I never would have thought it. I never would have said it before, but it sure is.
It sure is. What about you, Katrina?
Well, same. Meditation, visualization. I really like visualizing because I can. Apparently, some people can't, as I've come to figure out. It's just weird. I don't know. So definitely, yeah, I like just spending some time with it.
Beautiful. The harness of energy, and whatever way you do that, through meditation, through orgasm, through communicating with deities, through drawing down and bringing the energy of past deities into yourself, through incantation and intention and all of that. Beautiful. So on here it says next to cast a circle. That's if you're making a potion. Obviously we have started a spell, so we casted a circle a long time ago. So now we have cleansed, empowered, casted. You want to make sure you have all of your items. I can't tell you how many times I did not have all of my items. Then I had to open the circle, which is a process. And then you have to leave the circle and you come back and you have to cast the circle again. Remember all of your items. So you are going to place the roses or any fresh or dried herbs that you are using for this protection spell / potion. Like I said, part of this spell is going to be making the potion. There's going to be a lot more to the spell, but the first part of the spell is going to be creating and making this potion. So any herbs that you are using, you place into the white bowl that you grabbed, which we talked about, it's said at the top. Then you're going to pour your water, the lovely microbe-filled sea green water, into your white bowl. You want about half of your bottle filled with water. You don't want to fill the whole bottle with water, so make sure that you don't pour too much into the white bowl. Because this is where you're going to make the potion, and then we're going to pour it through a funnel into your bottle. You are going to say your incantation while you meditate for 20 minutes. Focus on your intention, and your intention in this case is protection, and whatever that means to you, and whatever you are using this protection for. And you are going to meditate on the protection that you need in your life. So I would love if everybody took their pen and paper or whatever you're using to write, and write down what this specific incantation would be. What incantation would you use to bring protection into your life? Okay, looks like Kim left too. Oh well.
Oh no.
Hopefully she'll be back. Let's see. Okay. Well, oh well. So what is your incantation? If you're finished. If you're not, please keep going.
I don't know. I feel like it would change depending on what specifically I'm doing this for. So it's hard just to kind of like come up with just.
Well, imagine if you were really doing the spell. What would you personally need to do it for?
Honestly, right now, I don't know. And that's actually kind of refreshing.
It is. That's wonderful.
It's just like, there's nothing. No. I don't feel like there's anything that's I would need to protect from right now in what I'm doing or in life or that's crazy because I've done protection like spell jars and stuff before too for like well okay so I've done like protection spell jars for like Lance when he's going to he's gone to a couple wildland fires and those are super scary so
Definitely.
I've done that and made him like carry them with him just to kind of
Aww.
because it's like, you know, I want you to come home and I want you to be safe and I want you to so I guess that would be like an example of one that I've done. And it was very, yeah, specifically for just him being protected while he's out there. And some of that involved his like himself, like his ability to keep himself safe. So remembering his training and remembering in a situation where things might be going a little wonky, helping to give him that thought process on, oh, right, training said blah, or this is what I need to do to, you know, helping him to be more aware of himself and how to keep himself protected would have been how I kind of went around that one.
I love that. That's wonderful. I remember you telling me about those. I love that. So for me, I feel the same way, that there's nothing like physical in my life right now that I would need protection from, which is a beautiful feeling. I did a protection incantation for protection against me and my thoughts and depression and anxiety and things like that, and protecting myself from the intrusive thoughts that happen during anxiety and depression. And so I wrote
I like that.
Right?
I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I need to do that.
Protection from myself. You know?
My last two, not this week, but the previous 2 weeks, I got hit really hard and I couldn't go to work and I couldn't anything. And it impacted our finances later this month because I'm going to feel it in a couple days when I get paid. And that really, yeah, that's not good.
Yes.
And you do get kind of upset at yourself because it's like, well, I did this to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't any outside anything. I'm the one that doesn't have enough money for the month. I'm the one that couldn't get up and go to work. I'm the one that, and it's frustrating.
It is really frustrating. And then, yeah, you're so hard on yourself. I am too. I end up getting I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody hates me. Why am I such an incompetent, dysfunctional human? And totally. And so doing spells for that, you have to always remember that, it is not your fault. And everybody deserves rest when they're feeling that way. And everybody goes through moments like that. But doing a spell to help with it is always nice.
Well, just even to put because for me, it's not that spell or that jar or whatever is going to, so I got to do the work for me. I'm not just going to magically turn around and be like, oh, I did a spell and I'm not depressed anymore.
Right?
And
yeah.
Me taking that time and that mental time to focus on that situation and what I'm wanting to come from it. And then when I'm in that depressive moment or that anxious moment, because I spent so much of my mental time and everything, it's the memory I feel that holds the power in that item. Because then when I see it, I go, oh, right, what was I doing when I made this? And you go back to it and it's like, oh, this is where I was in my state of mind and in my everything when I was doing this. And that's what's helping you rework your in that moment, kind of. I guess I don't know, I don't really completely explain it, but that's
yes, no, I totally.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And even just the act of putting it out there and really trying to meditate on it helps with your mental health in general. And totally, yeah, definitely. Hey Kim, welcome back.
I didn't even know I left. I was like, I thought we were all just quiet so we could write, and I finally finished mine, and then I was like, where'd everybody go?
Oh my gosh, that's great. Well, good. That's what we're still on. So would you like to share your incantation?
I wrote it quick, and I'm not like happy with it, but
I'm sure it's beautiful.
if I can even read my writing, because I wrote so fast. I use like the elements. I call for the power of knowledge from the eastern air. I call for the inner strength from the force from the fire of the south. I call for the intuition of western waters. And I call for the northern earth to ground me. I call for the universe to use all of these elements and place a circle of protection around me.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love that. Yes. So
simple and just like what I wanted, kind of.
No, that is wonderful. And I love your use of the elements and also your very obvious understanding of the elements. That is beautiful. I was just telling Katrina that I wrote one that was more protection against myself. So protection against my intrusive thoughts, against my anxiety, against my depression, things like that. And so I wrote, I bring peace into my soul, body, and spirit. I love and accept myself for all of my flaws and my divine brilliance. I protect myself through self-love and acceptance. I am a being of this earth. My flaws and existence are beautiful.
I love that.
Thank you.
Beautiful. It was very beautiful.
So after you have come up with your incantation to help empower all the tools you're using, and remember when we say empower, just like we talked about, you are bringing energy into the items, but you are bringing the wanted energy into the items, which just means the spell and potion you are working on right now is protection. So you want to bring protection energy into your items. Protection energy, like I said before, is not necessarily negative or positive. Sometimes when we need protection from other people, especially, that energy can be very negative in a sense that a lot of witches like to call that type of energy negative, because we are specifically trying to expel someone from our life. And when you are purposely trying to make sure that someone doesn't contact you, make sure that somebody doesn't interfere with your life anymore, and they want to, that is going to negatively impact that person and positively impact you. And therefore, not all energy that we bring into protection spells is going to be positive for everyone. So you then are empowering those items, yes, and then you did all the steps that we had, and then you said your incantation, which we just created and made right now, and we focused our intention on protection. And the protection that you specifically need in your life. As we just showed, there are many different routes to take for protection. I took protection against myself, whereas some people are going to protect against outside influences. Then you're going to light the black candle and the white candles while saying your incantation over and over again. This is one of those times where I also want to bring up, for any of you who have been in the runes class, this would be a great time to bring in those Galdras that I was talking to you about. So for instance, the Fehu rune, I would say the Uruz rune would actually probably be much better for protection specifically. Because this one, if you were trying to, let's say, protect yourself against the emotions that are negatively impacting your life, like I said, I'm trying to protect against anxiety, then the Uruz rune would be fantastic to bring in, because it is a very emotional rune focused on your emotions and well-being. And if you would like to say your incantation and then also chant the Uruz Galdra, which would be, I mean, there are many different ways to chant the Uruz Galdra in general, but traditionally it would be to say Uruz, 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 Ur, Uruz, 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 Uruz. And because that exact same chant and that exact same Galdra has been used for thousands of years for emotional protection and for bringing emotional stability into your life, that's going to have a lot of energy, because for thousands of years, hundreds of millions of people have been using it for that specific purpose. Obviously, hundreds of millions of people didn't exist on the planet back when that was first made, but if you consider all the ancestors of every single person, then it is hundreds of millions of people. And they have all been using it for that exact same purpose. So you are using the energy that was gifted to you by the ancestors. So you can bring in Galdras, such as Galdras from runes, Galdras from tarot, Galdras from scrying, and that was just an example of using a Galdra from runes to help your incantation and to help bring more energy into your incantation. Then you are going to add the rose oil and almond oil into the water while saying your incantation. You're going to add more rose oil than almond oil, because rose is going to be the real, the herb that's going to help with protection. So then this becomes an open eye meditation. You are looking into the bowl. So this is a form of scrying. This is called water scrying. And for those of you who have never practiced water scrying before, it is seeing images within water. And this is one of the ways in which you can see images within water. And once you add the oil to the water, obviously the oil is going to move and shift on top of the water, because they are never going to blend and mix together. And so you can look at the shapes and images created by the oil on top of the water. Focus on what the images mean to you while saying your incantation. So this is a beautiful form of traditional scrying. And look into the bowl and stare at it for 20, 30 minutes, as long as you need. I know some people that scry for hours. It's all up to you. And look at the shapes being created. And if you would like to use those shapes for divination work, meaning that try to gain meaning from the shapes created in the water, then that is wonderful. You can start trying to create meaning from those shapes and what that means to you. Also, if you don't want to use it for divination, instead, you can just watch the shapes morph and twist and turn and transform. And while saying your incantation and while doing your meditation, your open eye meditation, you're meditating while watching these shapes transform, and think about how the shapes and the water are affecting what you think about. How are the shapes and the water and the oil affecting your thoughts during this meditation? What are they making you think about? What are they making you process? The thoughts that come to your mind during scrying are very important. Write them down, journal about them. Then you are going to fill your bottle with bay leaf and with your different types of sage while saying your incantation. Meditate with the bottle and focus on your intention. Once, like I said in the beginning, you can use whatever herbs that call to you when it comes to protection, but sage and rose are very powerful. And so using those is great. So you're going to take whatever herbs you chose to use and put them inside of the bottle. And then you are going to meditate with the bottle and meditate with your intention. Fill the bottle with the roses, the water, and oils while saying your incantation. So basically you're just going to use a funnel and pour the rose water and oil that you have just created and scried with and filled with energy and intention. Pour that into the bottle while saying your incantation again. You are going to tie the string around the top of your bottle while saying the incantation and filling the string with your intention. Then you are going, so then the end says, open your circle, but we are not going to do that because this is just part of our beautiful spell. So now we have created our beautiful potion. Does anybody have any questions or comments about the beautiful potion that we have made?
No. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I do want to kind of smush a myth. I don't know where this came from. It's very hilarious to me that I have started to hear on Witch Facebook and Witch TikTok and all of the things that to create a potion or a spell jar or whatever, that you have to seal it with wax or else it's not legit. That is ridiculous. That is silly. What? Many cultures, number one, didn't have access to wax. Like, what are we trying to pretend here? That is absurd. But so many cultures of people and indigenous people all over the world never had access to wax. So no. No, you do not have to seal your bottle with wax. Does it look pretty? Yeah, that looks super cool. I have loved watching those bottles and looking at how beautiful they look. And if you would like to seal it with wax and dip the end of your bottle into wax, that is beautiful and it looks awesome. And you could even use colors to define your intention and your energy. So for this one, using something like green or black or white wax to seal the top would look awesome and you're adding that color energy into your practice, which is beautiful. It's awesome. But to say that you have to, or else it's not, I don't understand. That's not true. And those things are silly and seem very gatekeepery and very like first world modern magic, which is fine, but also remember that magic has existed for like 8,000 to 10,000 years or longer, and wax was not something that human beings had invented or used for many of those 10,000 years. So not true. So yes, now you are ready to finish your spell. So this was kind of the first part of your spell. If you already had your potion when you started your spell, then that's cool. Your spell will just be much shorter. So you are going to take that potion and you are going to rub it somewhere on your body. Remember that obviously don't use anything in this bottle that you might be allergic to. And since we know we used kind of microby swampy water, do not rub it on your face. Rub it somewhere where after this you can easily wash it off and it will not get into orifices that you don't want swampy water in. Don't drink it. So I really enjoy taking these types of potions and rubbing them on my inner wrist. There's a lot of power that happen inside of your inner wrist. There's a lot of blood flow that flows throughout the entire body that have, there's a lot of energy and power within your inner wrists. Same thing with your hands, same thing with your feet. Rubbing this on your feet is fabulous. So rub the potion somewhere where it does not have a chance of entering an orifice and where it is not going to irritate your skin. If you have very sensitive skin and rubbing swamp water anywhere on your body would not be good, then don't do this. But usually sticking your feet inside of a river is usually perfectly fine, even if you wouldn't drink that river. So it should be just fine. And obviously don't use herbs that you're allergic to. So you're going to rub it somewhere on your body while thinking about your incantation. And if you've noticed, the incantation that you create is very important. You are going to be using it and saying it over and over and over and over again for this entire thing. So make it something that really resonates with you and that really means something to you. While you rub it on your skin, we are going to start meditation. And I know it feels like this entire thing is meditation, and in a sense that's true. Meditation is a huge part of spell work. It's a huge part of magic, and it is a very important technique to start getting good at. So you are going to meditate while rubbing the water on your skin and write down what happens during your meditation, what images appear in your mind, what do you think about. All of that is going to be very important when it comes to what this spell is going to bring and manifest into your life. Then you are going to light the second candle, because we have already lit the black candle, and we are going to light the second candle, and you are going to stare into the fire. And so if you'll notice that during this entire spell, we are going to do water scrying, we are going to do fire scrying, and then you are going to do earth and air scrying as well. We are bringing every single element into the spell to help manifest the protection into your life. And remember that this is just helping you to consolidate the energy, to think about what you truly want, to think about the steps that you can take to achieve it. The spell is not going to be the only work that you have to put in to aid in this protection. There's going to be a lot more outer work outside the spell that must be done as well. But when we think about fire, fire is action. Fire is our action that we put into the universe. It is also our inspiration, our motivation, our passion, when it comes to action. So this is the action part of your spell. When you light the candle and you stare into the flames, think about the literal and actual steps that you can take as a human being, the literal steps that you can take to bring this type of protection into your life. So if you are trying, like I am doing, if I am trying to protect myself from depression and anxiety, what kind of self-care do I need to do? Do I need to understand and realize that maybe working 2 jobs and going to school full-time and running an academy and doing all the other things that I do is maybe causing my mental health to suck a little bit and also causing me to half-ass a lot of things? Probably. Yeah. And so what kind of steps am I going to take to remedy that? The spell, though it is beautiful and it is magical and it is connected to ancestors and it is connected to the universe, it is not the only work that needs to be done. And when we talk about fire, staring into the fire is your chance to think about those actions that you can take to really and truly bring this protection into your life. What types of steps can I take towards self-care? What kind of ways can I be kinder to myself? What can I do when I'm feeling really anxious? What can I do instead of canceling everything and just laying in bed all day? What could I do instead, if anything? Am I able to? Why am I not able to? That's what you're going to think about when staring into the flame of the candle. What literal, actual actions can you take in your life towards making this protection happen? Does anybody have any questions or comments about the fire scrying aspect of this spell?
How come it doesn't say that on here?
Because this is just the potion. So we already made the potion.
Oh,
now
duh.
we're on to the spell. So I'm just telling you the spell. That's why I want you to make sure you have something to write with so you can write this part down.
You're right, I did.
Yes. So the next part is going to be, we have now scryed with water. We have now scryed with fire. So now we are moving on to earth. So you are going to take those leftover herbs that you have, crush them up inside of your hands. As we talked about bringing into the circle, all of those herbs, not all of them went into your potion. Part of them are still out. And you are going to take those herbs and crush them up in your hands and take them and throw them out onto a surface that, you know, you are going to have to clean this up. Sadly, unless you do it outside. If you do this outside, you don't have to clean it up. But take them and throw them out onto the ground and look at them. And this is a form of earth scrying. There are many different ways to do earth scrying. Tea leaf reading is actually a form of earth scrying. So there are many different spells that use many different forms of earth scrying, but this is the type we are doing for this spell. So you take the herbs, crush them up in your hands, throw them on the ground, and look at the shapes that have occurred. You are going to think about what earth is. And earth is the physical things that exist in your world. It is the physical plane of existence. It is your job, it is your school, it is the people around you, it is your house, it is your laundry, it is your food that you eat, it is the trees that grow all around you, it is your finances, it is your wealth, it is your all of those things. Think about and meditate on how the physical world is going to be affected by the spell that you are doing. So what do you want out of it? For me, the protection spell, the specific one that I'm talking about, where I am talking about protecting myself against myself, basically.
Yes, I'll be right back.
Oh, no problem. I am protecting myself against anxiety and depression, and therefore, when I think about the physical things that are affected by the spell that I'm doing, I am hoping that one day I might get laundry done. I am hoping that one day I might clean my basement, and that protecting myself from depression and anxiety might make it so that I have the energy and ability to clean, that I have the energy and ability to do my dishes and to sleep in my bed instead of just like falling asleep on the couch, or being able to actually have a savings account and an investment account. I have a savings account, but like it's not very good. And being able to manage my money better, being able to purchase things that are big and something that I really love and want, like my own house. And that is how I hope that the physical world is affected by my spell, is that I'm able to do some of those things. And so that's what you think about while doing the earth part, is How do you hope that your physical world is affected by the spell that you are doing? And now that we have done earth, fire, and water, and so you're going to want to meditate on that for a while. You know, meditate, sit, think, write it down. Write it down in your notebook. Think about all of the things that have to do with your physical world and how they'll be affected by the spell. Then you're going to move on to air. And what you are going to do with air is a breathing exercise. Breathing and sound. So for breathing and sound, you are welcome to use the Galdra that I just put out to you. So whether that just be using part of the Galdra, so you can just go, you know, ooh, 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 or you can do the whole thing and you can go oodoos, oodoos, or you can just say your incantation over and over again. Or you can just do something like Om, if you would like to. Or you could just hum. Or if you have a song stuck in your head right at that moment, you can hum it. Or any form of humming or make sound with your vocal cords. However you would like that to be, whether that be your incantation, the Galdra that we talked about, or any form, if you just want to just, that's fine too. Whatever you would like to do, make sound with your vocal cords. Wow. And then for about 15 minutes, really focus on that sound. And then you are going to focus on your breathing. And you want to do the circular breaths. Some people call them square breaths. But what it is in through your nose for 5 seconds. So, and then hold for 5 seconds, and then blow out for 5 seconds, and then breathe in for 5 seconds, and then hold for 5 seconds, and then breathe out for 5 seconds. And you're going to want to continue the circular breathing like that. Sometimes people also do where you like breathe in for 5, hold for 3, breathe out for 7. You know, you can kind of, sometimes breathing in shorter and breathing out longer helps people to focus and concentrate and meditate easier. It is up to you. I don't like the breathing out longer thing, but it's something I'm working on. But whatever you would like to do, circular breaths, focus on how long you're breathing in, focus on how long you're holding it, and focus on how long you're breathing out. And so that is how we are going to create our air element, focusing on your breathing and focusing on sound. And then while you're focusing on your breathing, also your thoughts that kind of weave in and out of your mind while you're focusing on your breath. Think about how this affects your mental health. So this is how will the protection spell that you are doing at the moment affect your mental health? And for me, I've kind of already described that to you. I'm hoping that it helps with my anxiety and depression. But for some people, they're doing a protection spell, you know, against, like when you said, doing a protection spell for Lance, for when he goes out to fight fires. How is protecting Lance going to help your mental health? How, if you are doing a protection spell where you are trying to get someone out of your life, how is getting them out of your life and protecting yourself from them going to help your mental health? So while you are focusing on your breaths, while you are focusing on the sound that you are making, also focus on what is this spell going to do for my mental health? How is it going to improve my mental health? Is it going to improve my mental health? Because as we talked about, sometimes negativity is needed, and anger and sadness and frustration are needed as well. So is this spell going to help in your mental health immediately and initially? And if not, what is it going to do? After you have done that, then you can sit back and relax in your circle for a while. Say your incantation one more time. Thank the directions. for being there. Thank the elements for being there with you. Thank whatever deities that you called into your circle. If you called in the Fae, if you called in the Jinn, if you called in, if that's the type of practice that you do, if you called in Mother Earth or the universe or Demeter or Persephone or whoever you called in to help with your practice, say thank you and farewell. Close your circle and take that potion with you. And whenever you need to remember about all the things that you just did in this beautiful spell that you created, whenever you need to think about it, rub it on your hands or your feet so that you can, the smell will help you remember what you did here today. The feeling of the oils and the water on your skin will help you remember everything that you thought about and everything that you did during this spell, and help to keep the energy in your life. And that is our spell workshop.
I'm back just for the end of it, of course.
You can always watch the end of the recording as well. We just talked about air scrying and earth. I don't know where you cut off. I forgot. But we did earth, air, fire, and water scrying and closed our circle. And then whenever you need to bring yourself back into the energy of this space, you can take this potion that you've made and rub it on your skin. And the smell of the potion and the feeling of the potion on you will help put you back into this place that you are in, so that you can remember all of the beautiful energy that you created, and you can remember exactly what you're working towards, and also remember how well it's worked, because I guarantee you the spell will work.
Aw. Okay, got it.
Yay. Katrina, did you have any questions or comments?
No, that was really fun though.
Yay! Good, I'm so glad.
I loved it.
I really liked it.
Me too. I had so much fun. Thank you both for being here. I am so happy that we could finally do this. I wanted to do a spell workshop for a long time, so it was very exciting for me as well.
I'm very happy I could actually finally participate in a class. I've been so missing this, so yes, thank you very much.
Of course, I've missed you too. I'm really happy that you could come today.
You know, it's in and out, but yeah.
Thank you both for being here. And if you're able to come, I will see you both later tonight for Fae Magic. And if not, I will see you at our next class.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.